The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org. This program is brought to you in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support education, the arts, and culture in the greater New Orleans area. The Chicory House Bistro at the Rink offers breakfast and lunch daily. And now a new bar upstairs inside the Garden District Bookshop, 2727 Britannia Street at Washington Avenue. Learn more at therinknola.com.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. What a show! Joining me, Gwen Thompkins, who is the producer and host of the public radio series Music Inside. I should say it like Gwen, Music Inside Out. I'm doing my Gwen. I can never really do my Gwen, but anyway.
You can do it. You can do it.
Welcome, sweetie.
Nice to see you.
Poppy Tooker, yay, the Poppy Tooker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Louisiana Eats. All right. Sarah Jane McMahon. Oh my goodness, it's so great to have you back.
Thank you. Are you going to sing a high note?
I know. That ain't happened. That's not happened. But Sarah Jane, the list is long, and these days the choral director for the St. Louis Cathedral Choir, cantor, okay.
That's right.
And of course, internationally known opera star as well. So anyway, welcome with
Thank you so much.
Exciting news.
Thank you.
And then there's Alan Smason.
I'll see you at the theater, Alan Smason. Yes.
I love this. We can make fun of ourselves. The Crescent City Jewish News and theatercriticism.com. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. And it is the season between Passover and, of course, Easter. Plans to be made.
It is time for all of those high holidays that we know how to celebrate so deliciously here in New Orleans. And so we're going to start off, because it's the first one coming. Passover begins Saturday, and it runs through April 20th. Now, I first attended Alan's special Passover Seder Supper back in 2011 at Dominica. I can't believe how long ago that was. But of course, now that he's right there on the corner of Magazine in Nashville, he is doing his Seder plate. You can dine in and get it, but you can also get it to go. It includes Sephardic charoset, house-made red horseradish, beet, cured, hard-boiled eggs, bitter greens with sumac, onions, and lemon garlic vinaigrette, parsley and quinoa tabbouleh, and lamb ribs with date molasses. And of course, you can always get that matzo ball soup with that duck stock, and flourless chocolate cake with raspberry and almond praline.
But that, look at that table.
Yes, all you Catholics, go give it a try, because you're missing out if you don't. But then Easter is coming right along on April the 20th. And I don't think that there's an Easter brunch in town that's going to be more charming and elegant than the one at the Four Seasons Hotel. So they're hosting an Easter brunch buffet from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. And the eats are going to be extraordinarily good, with dishes like lamb bolognese and risotto served out of a Parmesan wheel, a carving station with grilled Angus beef tomahawks, boudin stuffed porchetta. Of course, there's going to be a huge seafood display, from oysters to shrimp, made to order egg dishes, pancakes, and divine desserts. So if a buffet isn't your jam, You can also dine a la carte at the Four Seasons at either Miss River or Chemin à la Mer. But the important news is about the Easter Bunny, because he's spending his day at the Four Seasons, and he's hosting 2 egg hunts, one at 11:30 and one at 2:30. And don't worry, the bunny will be there. Now, another Easter buffet idea is very unusual because it's a hidden gem that is really just an event venue. But Marché, which was formerly Bella Luna, is having 2 seatings that day. It's very reasonably priced, but they're you see how beautiful that room is, remember?
Yeah.
So they're going to be serving house beet cured salmon lox and eggs Benedict and French toast. There'll be salads, boneless prime rib for carving, chicken clemenceau, barbecued shrimp, a dessert station with strawberry stuffed beignets and other yummies. So 1 seating 9 till noon or 1 to 4 p.m. And then I would be remiss without mentioning the amazing work of Isaac and Amanda Toops, because the Toops family meal is once again coming together for Easter, and they are going to be delivering a whole chicken with all the fixings so that they can cook themselves at home to 2,000 New Orleanians. It's being delivered tomorrow. They're looking for contributions and always looking for volunteers for delivery. But I'd like to remind everybody that Toops Meadery is open for lunch, brunch, and dinner. It's not just a charitable site and these days. And that's 7 days a week, cracklins to lamb neck. I have to say, it's my favorite.
Wow. So the dinner drive is also Friday, also the 18th. Is
Friday is the
April 18th. Yeah. Okay. At 3 p.m. Wonderful. They're such busy bees, and they're such good folks.
Are.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Wow. All righty. So I have a P.S. Just a quick P.S.
Yes.
Alan will be reviewing Hamilton, but for Hamilton theater goers, a prefixed early dinner at WYES is available. There's even a Brandy Alexander Hamilton cocktail.
No.
So WYES.com for details on that. And now we go over to Miss Gwen, of course, French Quarter Fest.
It's true, but now I'm distracted by the cocktail.
Don't give away that shot.
Exactly.
Very good.
But yes, as everyone knows, I mean, French Quarter Fest has exploded into something that rivals Jazz Fest at this point. It's so fantastic. And it features a lot, this year, it features a lot of artists who are really coming out with new material, new music. John Cleary and the Absolute Monster Gentlemen, they've got a new album coming out called Bywater Sessions. Irma Thomas with Galactic. They've already come out with, what is it called? Audience with the Queen. Which is such a great name. Tuba Skinny has released a new album called Live at DBA. And this year, Betty Shirley has a new album out called Sume. So this is a great opportunity to go early and hear these people who are going to be all going to be at the festival performing new material. And, you know what I mean? And really sort of stretching their creative roots, you know, which is really lovely. But my job for you all today is to talk about 1 act per day because everybody's going to go to wherever they want to go on French Quarter Fest, during French Quarter Fest. And so these are the acts that I'm thinking about going to, actually. As you know, French Quarter Fest began as a traditional jazz venue. I mean, it was a real opportunity to showcase the thing that, as Shannon Powell says, you know, I mean, the whole world loves us for, you know, which is traditional jazz. And so I want to listen to it as much as I possibly can, particularly collaborations between old traditions and more recent artistic ideas. So on Friday, I'd like to see the original Pinettes brass band, and they're going to be performing with Mia X, the sort of OG hip-hop star. And, you know, over the years, brass band music has mixed very well with hip-hop. And I'm thinking about Glenn David Andrews and the Little Rascals. I don't know if you all remember that great song, Knock With Me, Rock With Me, which is just fantastic. And so I'm looking for something like that. I'm looking for that kind of fire. And I think it'll be great, actually, if the Pinettes and Mia X record together. So I'm hoping that, you know, I'm putting that out into the universe, because they should make an album. They're closing out the Chevron stage on Friday, beginning at 6:40. So that's going to be fantastic. On Saturday, Ife will be on the Jack Daniels stage at 3:30, and this is a really fascinating percussion group led by a fellow by the name of Oturo Moon, and they combine African and Cuban and Puerto Rican spiritual rhythms using traditional instruments that they actually soup up electronically. So these are electronically wired percussive instruments. And it's this combination of old and new ideas. And the music is really captivating. If you're interested, you can go to the NPR website where they've done a Tiny Desk concert, which is fantastic. And that's at npr.org. And the early taste of their music will be, of course, will be the Tiny Desk, but then you can go see the real thing on Saturday at French Quarter Festival, at the Jack Daniels stage at 3:40. And then on Sunday, I'm going to be looking for Mr. Benny Jones Sr. and the Treme Brass Band. I just love them. And, Treme has such roots in so many different great brass and jazz bands, the Olympia, the Dirty Dozen, the Chosen Few, the Treme Brass Band. They're NEA Masters of Traditional Arts. They're National Heritage Fellows. They receive the highest honor that this nation can award to folk and traditional artists. And these distinctions really mean something because they tell something very important about New Orleans culture, about what has sustained the city for more than 300 years at this point, our musical traditions. And it also confirms what New Orleans has given to the world in exchange. And even though many of the performers who began French Quarter Fest playing traditional music are no longer with us, there are so many who still are, and there are so many who are trying to keep this moving into the 22nd century. And so I'm hoping that we can all support them.
All right.
So that's Treme Brass Band. That's 4 o'clock at the Louisiana Fish Fry stage.
We look forward to hearing
Sunday.
your pick a little later, too. Thank you very much, Gwen. And I have one more French Quarter Fest item, actually totally different. Actor Mark Schneider will actually be portraying the Marquis de Lafayette and make a presentation at the Jackson Square stage on Saturday morning at 10:15. This is all part of the 200th anniversary of the Revolutionary War hero's visit to our city. And the Cabildo has opened up a brand new exhibit concerning that visit. And for an additional fee on the weekend, on Saturdays, the museum has Lafayette's Lounge open on Saturday. So you can sip something while you're looking at the exhibit. So on to Sarah Jane for a little bit more serious fare.
Yes.
But it's great to have you back. It's been a while.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and you're juggling lots of plates or spinning lots of plates these days, aren't you?
I am. I was just in Shreveport, let's see, maybe 2 weekends ago to sing the soprano soloist in the Foray's Requiem. So I got to sing that beautiful Pia Jesu, and it was just wonderful. I worked with a conductor there whom I love. And the Cathedral will be also part of the French Quarter Fest this year too. We're performing Rossini's Stabat Mater. It's a very moving, intense piece. It's a musical meditation on the Virgin Mary's grief during the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. So it's intense and powerful, but you don't get to hear this often. And my goodness, we have some of the top musicians, in my opinion, in the world who are doing this. Our orchestra, 19 instrumentalists. We have 35.
Mostly from the LPO.
Mostly from the LPO, yes. Our choir is 35. We have 35 singers. We have 4 soloists. I'm one of them. The other 3 are just spectacular.
And your conductor?
Our conductor, his name is Michael Borowitz. He's head of the opera at LSU. And I mean, it's just an incredible free performance open to the public.
Okay, and on Saturday and Sunday, we'll tell you the details on that in just a minute. But we're so fortunate because we actually have a clip. Let's take a look. two amazing opportunities here. Saturday, especially if you're in the quarter for the French Quarter Fest, Saturday at 2 p.m. at St. Louis Cathedral, and then Sunday at 3 p.m. at Mata della Rosa, and free.
Free and open to the public, and that was from our orchestra rehearsal last night.
It sounded great.
Yes. It's a huge piece to put together, and we've been working on it for months, and it was so exciting to see it all come together last night. And yeah, 2 o'clock Saturday at the Cathedral. But if you're not coming down to the French Quarter, 3 p.m. at Mata della Rosa.
Which is a beautiful church.
Beautiful, right on Carrollton Avenue.
Sarah Jane, let's talk about you for a second. Now, you have been the director of the Cathedral Choir for a while. How's that fit for you?
Oh my goodness, I love it. It's almost 4 years, which is really hard to believe, because when I first started, you know, it was right after COVID. I didn't have one choir member, so I had to form a choir from scratch, which I have to say is probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. But I'm very thrilled to say I now, every Sunday, we almost have 20 singers. We have between 20 to 25 that come every Sunday for the 11 o'clock Mass. Not only are these singers just unbelievably talented, beautiful voices, but just kind people who want to be there. And
Jesse Reeks is
Jesse Reeks is our principal organist, and I mean, he's spectacular. So it's really become a family. You know, we all enjoy doing it.
Don't your children?
Oh, they come. Oh, yes, they're there every.
Yeah.
Brandon reads. My husband reads. He's an acolyte. You know, whatever they need, basically. And my kids, a lot of people notice them in the front row. They're just kind of used to it now.
They're precious.
Yeah, they're kind of used to it now. They've been going since they were babies, literally. But I'm in charge of everything musical there, from Easter at Holy Week that's coming up, to ordinations, to all the special masses we have. We do 2 concerts a year with full choir, full orchestra, Christmas and spring. So it's a big job, but I'm really enjoying it.
Well,
yeah.
I'm so glad you could be with us.
Thank
too.
you so
Yes.
much.
And turning to Mr. Smason.
And grooming young ones too, I believe.
That's right.
So that you won't run out of people now for your choir.
I hope not. And you know what? I'm always
Prospective
recruiting.
members.
So Alan, whenever you're ready, we have your choir robe.
I'm not old enough yet. Well, last night I saw one of the top 3 performances of Hamilton that I've seen. The Angelica Tour, as it's called, is pretty amazing. And while it did not have the same impact as the 2015 original cast, I have to say it was pretty close. As one of the leads, Nathan Haydell, who's seen here on the left, is both John Lawrence in Act 1 and Philip Hamilton in Act 2. And Nathan, by the way, is a member of another famous cast, the Dookie and Leah Chase family. He's a proud New Orleanian by proxy, touring with the show. The 2 leads of Alexander Hamilton, played by Tyler Fauntleroy, and Aaron Burr, played by Jimmy J.J. Jeter, are quite exceptional. Marja Harmon and Lauren Maria Sousse play Angelica and Eliza Schuyler, and center and left there. And also at right is Peggy, who's Lily Soto. She also plays Maria Reynolds in Act 2. All of the ladies are lovely, and they sing like angels. With music and book and the lyrics by Lin-Manuel Miranda and choreography by Andy Blankenbuehler, Hamilton really never stops its movement until intermission and until the final curtain. Stephanie Clemens is the associate and supervising choreographer, and a good friend of mine. The music orchestrations are by Alex Lackamore. And again, adding to the formula, if you will, King George III is played by Justin Matthew Sargent, who's quite playful and humorous with his role. Jared Howelton is Lafayette in Act 1, and Thomas Jefferson in Act 2 is absolutely wonderful. Possibly one of the best of the roles I've ever seen since Daveed Diggs. Kay Tomasi Tshoki is also very good as he plays Hercules Mulligan in Act 1 and James Madison in Act 2. A.D. Weaver is also a powerful George Washington. Again, don't throw away your shot to see Hamilton. The marriage of hip-hop and Right Hand Man and Yorktown and striking ballads like Burn and Dear Theodosia will make your heart sing and bring a tear to your eye. There's a reason that Hamilton has made it to $1 billion on Broadway, faster than Lion King and Wicked. Yes, it did so in 10 years compared to the others that took 13 and 12 years respectively. This is not just a show, it's a phenomenon, and you should go and keep your mind open. It's the story of the Founding Fathers told through a prism of diversity with an emphasis on how immigrants built this country and the ways Alexander Hamilton and others essentially fought for our independence and then helped build the Constitution to help keep it. So check it out at the Sanger. Meanwhile, hot on the heels of the NOLA project announcing the return of Adam Simkowitz's Clown Bar 2 later this year, the University of New Orleans is putting on yet another Simkowitz play. This one is only playing for this weekend. It's called Hearts Like Fists. It's just $12 for the public, $10 for students.
And this is Delgado.
This is Delgado.
Yes, that's okay.
I'm sorry. Delgado University at the Timothy K. Baker Theater. And again, over on the North Shore, I wanted to mention Slidell Little Theater. They're putting on an ambitious production of Rent. It opened last week, and it continues for another 2 weeks. And then speaking of Slidell Little Theater, they just announced their 25-26 season. It starts off with Wizard of Oz in August and then pivots in October to Robert Harling's Steel Magnolias. Then at the end of the year, it's the musical Annie, followed by Sweeney Todd in late January through February 2026. Then Lorraine Hansberg's A Raisin in the Sun bows in March, followed by Shrek in April and May. And for all the details, go to SlidellLittleTheater.org. Now, for all of you adults who love a fractured fairy tale or two, New Orleans style, leave the kids at home and go to the Rivertown Theater at their Lanyap stage to see Ricky Graham's New Orleans Fairy Tales, coming up April 25th through the 27th. As you can see, there's nothing grim about these tales. Then check out Rivertown Theaters for additional details. A new theater company, by the way, Peggy, is being formed. The Pellis Players, led by Lilanya Gunn, is premiering String of Pearls in 2 weeks or so. These are rehearsal pictures that she sent in to us. One of the two players is Mona. You may recognize her from the National World War II Museum. The show's being presented for just 1 weekend in May at Big Couch. That'll be May 1st through the 3rd. Also, just announced is the upcoming season that was just done last night, so it's hot off the presses. Le Petit Theater de Vieux Carré. I'm really excited for this because it's the first time we're going to see the Tony Award winner for Best Play, the Lehman Trilogy. And again, then next January, it'll be time to see Noel Coward's Blithe Spirit. I don't know who is directing Guys and Dolls in March of next year, but if it's A.J. Allegra and John A. Buisson, the team who just did Jersey Boys, you can count me in. It's one of my favorite musicals by Frank Lesser. And that'll be followed by God of Carnage, a dark comedy by Yasmina Reza, in which two sets of parents meet to discuss in a civilized manner the fight between their sons. And finally, last but by no means least, the 2012 Tony Award winner for Best Musical, Once, will make its regional debut here in New Orleans for the first time. This is one of 3 British independent films that went on to achieve great fame on Broadway. The other two, of course, are Billy Elliot and Kinky Boots. So check out all the information at Le Petit's site. I'm sure it'll be up very soon. And finally, I wanted to take time to share 2 shots I took of Cajun fiddler and singer Amanda Shaw. This was taken after last week's opera at the Elixir of Love, the Fée d'Odo at the New Orleans Opera. And these are shots that I took of Amanda Shaw. She's just such a lovely performer and so fantastic. So I just really want everybody to check that out. And again, opera is alive and well, Peggy. You just have to put a little New Orleans slant on it.
That's right. That's a good idea, too. Time for picks. Poppy.
Donald Link is welcoming former employee chef Bill Briand, who was the opening sous chef at Cochin, for a special dinner April 23rd at Calcasieu to celebrate the opening of Little Bird, which is Bill's new restaurant in Fairhope, Alabama, an up-and-coming culinary spot.
All right, Gwen.
Well, Cyril Neville, one of the best front men New Orleans has ever produced, you know, he has always had great appeal to younger performers and has played with a lot of younger performers in recent decades, actually. And now, in a very Johnny Cash-like move, he is he's performing with a number of alternative young performers, musicians from around the country, and he's headlining an outfit called Black and Loud Fest. And this is featured as a French Quarter Fest after dark event, Saturday at the House of Blues. This is going to feature him, Cyril Neville, Omari Neville, King Youngblood, Shamar Allen, and others, of course. And so that's Cyril Neville, Black and Loud Fest at House of Blues Saturday at 9 p.m. I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen, but I'm really interested in finding out.
It's a good idea to have something at night. Yeah, absolutely. Sarah Jane.
I'd like to recommend Holy Week next week at the Cathedral. We have services happening on Holy Thursday, Good Friday, Holy Saturday is at 8 p.m., and then Easter we have 3 at 9, 11, and 12:30. And there's an Easter egg hunt after the 11 o'clock Mass for any children. It's really fun. They put, like, and I'm not exaggerating, it looks like 10,000 Easter eggs in the garden behind
Easter
the cathedral.
Sunday?
Easter Sunday, and the children, they give bags too and get the
And
the
music
eggs.
at most of
All
the
music,
services?
music is all the services.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Very
Should
good.
be really beautiful.
Very good.
Yeah.
Alan.
So Bing and the Bells is still continuing at BB's Stage Door Canteen. For the next 2 Wednesdays, you'll be able to see both of the casts. They have 3 revolving groups of 3 of the Victory Bells. The opposite Rich Arnold is Bing Crosby. And also, it's not too early to start thinking about Mother's Day and booking the Rat Pack now for that weekend. The show, which has been here on and off for the last 10 years or so, returns with Frank, Dean, and Sammy doing all the singing. That's the Rat Pack now. And I'll see you at the theater.
All righty, thank you. And now my picks. The University of New Orleans Library is holding a used book sale that also includes puzzles, DVDs, CDs, and even vinyl. Friday, 10 to 4, Saturday, 10 to 2. Artist Peg Usner's lovely Little Pond view, and then her view of Madisonville, gives us a taste of the new exhibit featuring over 30 area artists. It's called En Plein Air, Louisiana landscape paintings and artwork, held at the Abita Springs Trailhead Museum. The opening reception is Friday 5 to 8 with the show also on view Saturday 10 to 4 and Sunday 10 to 2. Longtime New Orleans TV anchor and producer Warren Bell will moderate a panel of research experts focusing on exploring your buried family history. He did a documentary on that recently. This is at 9 a.m. Saturday in the Georges Auditorium at Dillard University. On Saturday at 10 a.m., the New Orleans Museum of Art presents its annual Easter egg hunt, 20,000 eggs, I am told. And it's also a family fest and best-of sculpture garden, too. And that's Saturday. Also Saturday, Holy Cross College on the West Bank is having a crawfish boil cook-off, 1 to 5 p.m. For tickets and info, uhcno.edu/crawfish. $25 online, $40 at the gate. It sounds like a pretty good deal. On Sunday, New Orleans-born photographer Will Griner will sign his new book, Neutral Ground, New Orleans 1990 to 2005, chronicling scenes that he captured of the city during those years. And you're going to see Sport Palace. We'll show you 2 images from the book. We've got Sport Palace, and then we will also show you, there you go, 1994, Metairie, and Flag and Pink House. And that's another very dear 1994 as well. Abram Himmelstein, the head of UNO Press, the publisher of the book, will interview Will 4 o'clock at Garden District Bookshop, and of course that's at Britannia in Washington. And Griner is indeed influenced by photographers William Eggleston and Clarence John Laughlin. So free event, but you can reserve your copy of the book at eventbrite.com. There's the book. Beautiful, really beautifully done. Thank you all so very much, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org. This program is brought to you in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support education, the arts, and culture in the greater New Orleans area. The Chicory House Bistro at the Rink offers breakfast and lunch daily. And now a new bar upstairs inside the Garden District Bookshop, 2727 Britannia Street at Washington Avenue. Learn more at therinknola.com.